Hi everyone, God of War, Ascension, Chapter 21. For the beginning of this, I'm just going to show you that I'm upgrading the Oath Stone of Orcos right here. So I have the Orcos' stone upgraded to level 2, and I also have the Amulet of Ouroboros upgraded to level 2. And I'm still working on getting the blades up to level 5. It's going to be a while. Okay, so right there, when you're holding the crank, don't let go of the whatever button you're holding. I think it's R1 button. Just hold the R1 button. That's a mistake I was doing quite a lot when I was doing some of the puzzles. I was letting go of the R1 button. Just don't let go of the R1 button, and then while holding that button, obviously, press the L2 and triangle button to summon the clone so you can stay there and hold the crank in place for you. Make sure you get these treasure boxes. There's going to be a lot of these coming up. Then you want to put the clone on this particular puzzle. Once you familiarize yourself with the clone a little bit more, you'll realize that many of the puzzles they'll turn a lot easier for you. So we have a pretty big battle down here, and this is another one of those battles where I tested it, and sure enough, if you don't use that Oath Stone of Orcos, the enemies never stop spawning. So this is the second place that I know of that particular situation happens, where the enemies keep coming. The other being where we were introduced to using the Amulet of Ouroboros. So since I wanted this to be a faithful run of the game, and to make sure that everybody was on the same page as I was all the time, I'm not going to be grinding for money here. I don't think I even got those chests before when I played this game originally, so I'll show you how to get those. I think it was a matter of me just learning how to use that Orcos' Oath Stone, but it's going to be invaluable. So you definitely want to have that thing upgraded to level 2, as well as the Ouroboros, because you can freeze more enemies that way, and you can also trap more enemies in that freeze circle. So yeah, now I believe I'm working on. I'm just trying to get up to 25,000 orbs so I could upgrade the blades to level 5. For some reason, he kept hitting in the direction of the chest. I'm not sure what was going on over there, but there's a lot of money to be had in there. I think there's also a letter, and I'm always surprised that there's never any trophies for collecting all the letters. You can just pass them by if you don't want to have any dealings with them, but there really should be a trophy for that. I always try to get them. They're interesting to read. They're very brief. Okay, so now we're going to be doing some scaling up here, and you're going to have to scale this thing twice if you want those treasure chests, but I would really recommend getting them, because you get a lot of orbs. There's also some smashable objects in there, so what you want to do is you want to go over here and just press to the right, and he'll go up at that point right there, but just keep going to the right. And you want to link onto the chain. Link onto the switch, and then pull it back, and then just as we did with that turning of the crank, don't let go of the R1 button. Hold R1, then press L2 and triangle. So you have to hold 3 buttons at once, but that'll make sure that you don't mess up any of the puzzles. So this is a note from Archimedes. And it's kind of odd. When I first saw those in God of War, the notes, I thought they were kind of odd, but I don't know. There's something on the map that's fun to interact with, so I don't mind them whatsoever. Like I said, I think there should be a trophy for collecting them. Okay, so there's a lot of sections in this level where we're going to be using the clone. Not too many puzzles, but just a few, just so the game knows that. Sorry about that treasure chest. I had to edit some footage together, and I got it twice or something. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, up here, make sure you have him have the clone hold it, and then once you jump on this thing, make sure you press L2 and triangle to have the clone let go of it. Because there were several times when I couldn't make that jump, and the reason was, oh yeah, by the way, put the clone there, and you'll get a transitional scene. If you don't have enough, if you can't make that jump, then you're gonna have to re-get the boxes. So it's a real hassle. That's the only warning about that whole issue. Now slide on down here, and I think you have to press the square button twice to go in here. And okay, yeah, okay. This is where I got the trophy. I forgot. So we have I think we have a Cerberus and another Amazonian and some dogs. So we have a treasure box. So you have a box of health and magic down here to replenish your health, and you also have another health box up before where the furnace is. And if you're looking to get the trophy entitled Fireproof, then I'm going to take you through how to get it. It's not too bad. It really isn't. It's mostly just trying to. Well, I'll go over it. Once you go into that cylinder that raises to the top, if you can reach the top without getting burned by the fire, then you get the trophy. So it's not that hard. It's just kind of sometimes it's hard to survive with the enemies in there. We have a lot of the smaller goats and one of the Stone Talos monsters who's the fire version of himself. So it'll be coming up in short measure. So if I were you, I wouldn't use any magic here. I would save it for the next area. Just use the clone. See, the clone kicked her. Now I can interact with her, take her out, and then we just got the dog left. So he put up a barrier. I got a comment recently, and back when I was facing the Stone Talos monster with the ice, and I couldn't do anything but parry his attacks. I was told that if the enemy is using like a ice magic or a fire magic, you just use that magic that they're using, and it supposedly takes off their shield. So when that dog had the Hades barrier up, I'm guessing that if you use the Hades that particular weapon and hit the barrier, that might take the barrier down. So you might want to try that. I can't confirm whether that works or not, but it would go along with that similar logic about those Stone Talos monsters. So now I'm going to get some health and magic. I think these chests, because this is the second time we've been here, right? So I think that these chests, they're going to... I must have gotten the... I know I got the two on the bottom, but I know I saved one up top, but I think they all repopulate, as do the red orb chests. So now you need to yank this thing over to here, and then I think you have to have him hold it, and then activate the Amulet of Ouroboros to get to have those two pieces in the middle connect. So here I was trying to figure out where exactly I needed to be located. Sometimes you need to move around. So right about then, just let it go, and that's what you need to do. Just put it back the way it was. In other words. So back to trying to slay the bird with even more ferocity there. And then here's an item chest up here, which is going to give me orbs since I have everything. So from here on out, this is where we have another opportunity to get a trophy. So if you need to, just if you get burned, just start over, press restart from checkpoint. Unless you don't want to go for the trophy. But what you do is you place the clone on one of the pressure switches, and then you don't have to go on the other pressure switch. Also, because these guys time out, the clones will time out. So once he gets off the pressure switch, you don't have to keep putting him on the pressure switch. What you need to do is start using him as another weapon against the enemies. So I like to cast the Amulet of Ouroboros right away, and to start dealing with these goats. And very shortly, you will have the Stone Tailless monster literally dive down in here, down into the pit with us. So sometimes I was using the magic near the fire, and as you know, when you're in that magic, you can't move. And then when I was coming out of the magic, I was not invincible anymore. I see right there, I had to move out of the way really quickly so I wasn't getting burned. You'll know you'll know that you've gotten burned if you see a pretty good chunk of your health gone. That's a good indication, because these guys, they're not going to take off as much as what you get hit in the fire. And this is just pretty chaotic, but the Stone Tailless monster, he stood on the other side for the majority of this fight, and he wasn't a real issue. So you just fling guys at him if you want to, use your magic, and then when your 2 amulets restore, use those, for to delay. Okay, see how I stepped on it right there? You don't want to put the clone back on the pressure switch at this point, or otherwise the arena will keep twirling around, and it's a lot more complicated and confusing, and you'll get disoriented much quicker. So it's better to just do this fight without anything moving. So that's the best way to do this, trust me, because we need to ascend to the top. But once you kill all the enemies, then you can just ascend to the top without having to fight anything. So this is a great place to just kill the enemies. And I don't know why that guy just stood on the other side this whole time. What I didn't want to have happen was I didn't want to have hit the fire without knowing it, and then got to the top and then knock out the trophy. But you don't really have to do it's not a very long journey to get to this section. So you see how he had the fire barrier on him, and then I hit him having had the fire blades equipped. So that looked like it did negate his fire armor. So it looks like the guy who messaged me this evening was right about that. I think that's how it works. I don't know. His fire cast may have gone away prior to my hitting him. I'm not sure. So this is the last guy right here. I think, there's one more group of enemies, but this is the last group of enemies. And trust me, you don't want to be, having this thing circulating and moving. It's just you'll get way too disoriented. Just keep using the Amulet of Ouroboros and the clone, and this really shouldn't be an issue for you. And keep using your rage meter. So these are the guys with the body armor, but the more you hit them, the more you're going to get their body armor off. So, see, one of these guys is shirtless, and there we go. I'm just using the clone, just using the stance. This is a really good practice for the Trial of Archimedes. Trust me, you really need to, to not only know how to use those, but get really familiar with the button presses so you don't mess them up during the trial, and also just to realize how long it takes to regenerate for those magics at level 2. Hopefully you have them at level 2, and how distant you need to be from the enemies to cast those and stuff like that. So this was the last guy right here. And, you see I had no health hardly, but I was pretty sure that I hadn't gotten burned by anything. So just put the clone on here now, and all you need to do is kind of, it's actually probably best to stay in the middle, but we're just going to the very top here. And this will conclude the chapter. But, like, if you were to get hit by the flames right here, well, I couldn't have survived getting hit by the flames at my health, but if you have, a lot of health and you get hit here, it's going to invalidate the trophy, so you won't get the trophy. So yeah, it's not that hard, and you could pretty much tell where the fire is. Yeah, so the clone, he fell off right there, and I thought that that little gate area was where I was supposed to go, but I put the clone there again, and you see me try to jump over here in a moment here. Try to jump up there, but then I realized we had a little bit of ways to go up more. You see, you don't have to stand on the switch. Just let him stand on the switch. And then pretty soon there will be no threat of any fire whatsoever. So then you can just stand on the switch, and you know, we'll just circulate up here until we get to the top, and then we'll get our trophy. It's called Fireproof.